So I'm just actually going to make some reflections on day one, and I've just put these notes together this morning. President Dave was actually addressing a civil defence meeting today, and so can't be here. First of all, we heard from the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta, who gave an outline on the issues around the three waters, with a particular emphasis on drinking and wastewater. The Minister also gave an indication of some new policy direction, and it was noted that privatisation was off the table, but clearly we may see some policy direction of larger scale to address issues like efficiencies, fit-for-purpose infrastructure, high-level data collection and monitoring, to name but a few. There was also commentary around cross-subsidisation with the larger scale, and to support that there were some indicative maps shown by the Minister of what could be. The thinking of options will continue later this year, that's already been indicated, with recommendations to Cabinet and then followed by legislation possibly in 2019. The second speaker, Justice Stevens, gave a sobering overview of the Havelock North inquiry. The evidence-based inquiry highlighted a number of weaknesses within the current management of drinking water and processes. And I have to say, again, it might take so much to go back and read the outcomes of that inquiry as we move forward. Helen Wynne from the Department, from DIA, and Malcolm Alexander from LGNZ spoke about the funding of Three Waters infrastructure. And again, LGNZ's Water 50 project is about linkages between regulation, infrastructure funding, governance and management, etc. And I have to say, I'm not sure, it's been earlier this year, that was very pleasing to see the alignment between our project and work done by the various government agencies. So it's proved to be very, very beneficial. Malcolm then spoke about the co-regulation issue. Now that's actually LGNZ's current preferred methodology, and Malcolm also gave some examples in other network infrastructure that he's been aligned with in his previous career. Now, whether we actually succeed in that co-regulation space moving forward, we're not sure. Marcus Rink, Chief Inspector of Water Supplies in the UK, gave an overview and the benefit of an independent and a strong regulator. And from Marcus's perspective, nothing more than 100% compliance was adequate, and also spoke about health-based levels of compliance, what's the way to go, and of course risk management, which we've heard a lot about over the last 2 days, was absolutely critical. Colin Crampton showed us how it's done here in the Greater Wellington region. Colin is of course the CEO of Wellington Water, in terms of delivery management model, which again showed benefits of scale, theme coming through particularly yesterday. Raveen, the CEO of Watercare, gave an overview again of how Watercare works. And now that's of course our CEO and how they connect with Auckland City. It's quite interesting when you hear Watercare's perspective, and you also talk to some of the elected members of Auckland City who might have a slightly different perspective, but that's fine. It's just, I guess, what lens you're looking at it from. But again, significant benefits from scale in all aspects of their business, including procurement and retention of staff, as well as their delivery. Mike Rooster, CE of TasWater, and good to see you here again today, Mike, gave a very interesting overview of how you make that journey from a large number of water suppliers down to one. And I guess some of the key takeouts from Mike's address was this is not new, and took the opportunity, was actually sent around the world to look at different methodologies and ideas and came back and put one together that hopefully works for Tasmania. But again, a very strong emphasis on safe drinking water. Anton from Castalia gave a presentation on economic regulation. I have to say, it looked a little bit like the wiring map on the space shuttle for a while, but as we worked our way through it, it did become very clear that that is a critical part of this whole concept moving forward in economic regulation. And I guess some of the key points, and as also mentioned by others, is that where you start in terms of valuation is critical to where you end up at the end of that chain. And again, indicating that scale is a tool to achieve improvement outcomes. We also have to say that we've had ministers and senior officials engage early in this process at all levels, so at LGNZ level and through our sectors and zones. Ministers and senior officials have made their time freely available, and I have to say that is greatly appreciated at this point in time. But I have to say our local government sector often doesn't accommodate change that well. And so it's going to be really, really important as we move forward that all elected members, not just the mayors and CEs and all the senior management teams and all the staff, start to think about this and don't leave it till late this year or early next year when some of the legislation might come through and we find ourselves in front of select committees having a discussion. It's best we get engaged now and take that opportunity, because that opportunity is there and it is there now. Finally, I do want to recognise the great working partnerships between LGNZ, Water New Zealand in putting the summit together, and also with the very strong support from DIA. So thank you very much and have a safe journey home.